Welcome to mobility and a little bit of activation through here as well. Starting with our chest pops. So we're just using our shoulders to basically move our ribs around. So coming in forward and back, side to side, whatever feels good here. Nicely moving, trying to get that little bit of extra movement each time you go through here. We're not here for a long time, but we are going to be here for a good time. So keep those knees nice and soft and just moving around however that feels good. Next, we've got 1 whole minute of tuck, tilt and hulas. So hopefully you've seen this one before. We're really just rocking and rolling through that pelvis, coming forward and back. Think about squishing your back on the floor and then lifting it off the floor. Now that's not necessarily the only movement we're doing, but that's the action that we see. We're trying to use those beautiful core muscles, pelvic floor, multifidus, the really deep muscles to move that pelvis forward and back, and then to move it side to side. So keep going here. You've got a little bit longer to just really move through nice, small, controlled movements with deep breaths. Let's start to get ready for our next one, which are glute bridges. So these are going to be really nice and slow. You can see I'm taking quite a while to get up, holding at the top just a scotch, and then calming back down again. Now the key for these ones is I want you to have those hands flat on the floor, and I really want you to try and roll through the spine. So this is not a fast movement. We're trying to roll vertebrae by vertebrae up to the top where we give those glutes a beautiful squeeze to let them know how much we appreciate and adore them. And then we roll all the way back down. Same thing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just trying to touch one bit at a time until your hips are the last things to hit the floor, and then your glutes. Make sure you have a full relaxation at the bottom of this movement. We don't want to keep tension there the whole time. If you want to work on some breath work, you can inhale as you lift up and then exhale as you lower down. Totally up to you though. It might be enough to just concentrate on the exercise and what's happening in your own body. As long as you're breathing, you know it doesn't matter. We've got a few more reps here. All right, we're going to move on to our lying piriformis stretch. Now this might be one that it does take you a little while to get a hang of, and you may like to go into your portal and have a look at the spoken instruction. But in the short term, what we're going to do is you're holding on to that knee and that ankle as much as you can, trying to keep it comfortable. Your other leg is long across the ground, and we're aiming to get the knee across the center of the body line. So you can see here, I'm gently allowing that leg to come over. The knee, we want to get it above the belly button or over, while still keeping that other hip on the floor. So this can sometimes be a little bit tricky, and you can see here I'm sort of moving in and out of the movement. If you don't quite get to that point, that's okay. All right, we're changing over to the other side here. And the other thing I want to mention when you're doing this is to continue to breathe. If it doesn't look the same as it looks on me, that's completely fine. I just want you to find a really nice position. And sometimes that might even mean working together, you and I, to find the way that is going to suit for you going forward and get this feeling really nice and good. I promise you, once we figure out how to do that, you're really going to love this. If you're not already there now, who knows? Take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to move into our next exercise, which is same but different. So we're doing our lying rotation stretch. So we're going to go again 3 to 5 breaths on each side if that feels good. You can see here I've got one leg long, one leg bent up to the knee, and then I'm just gently rotating over. My hips are coming off the mat, but I am trying to keep my shoulders as connected as I can to the floor, to the mat. You can allow them to lift a little bit if you wish, but we're really going to get a really nice stretch here if you can really just leave that shoulder on the floor. Sometimes it can also be nice to prop that top knee up with a pillow or a block, certainly not forcing it, and you can definitely see how I am different on each side. You can also see these pants have a couple of holes in them. My apologies. So you can definitely see like there's a difference on each side. There's a little bit of restriction coming through probably the left side more than the right. And so I'm not pulling it down to the ground. I'm just really allowing that knee to go where it needs to go and just giving myself a little bit of gentle guidance with that top hand that you can see on the knee rather than a push into the floor. Just a couple more breaths here. Hopefully you've changed over by now. And then we're going to move into our final exercise, which are some beautiful knee openings. So for these ones, I really want you to concentrate. We're going to start on the right side. We're going to go hips and shoulders into the floor, and I want you to feel even pressure through there. And then we're just going to open one knee to the side and then close it back up again. The deal with this one is you're always going to feel like, or almost always feel like, that knee can move further than you can control. So most people will be able to drop the knee all the way down to the floor, but then hips will then come off the floor or twist or move. You can change over now to the left side. So the aim of this one, while yes, we are opening the knees out to the side, we want to also keep the pelvis really secure and on the floor. So we don't want it to move everywhere. The knee is moving in the hip joint, or the femur bone is moving in the hip joint without moving anything else further up the chain or lower down the chain. That's it. I hope you enjoyed your mobility and let me know what you thought.